Pape Sarr to Tottenham. Can you tell us more about this deal?
Yes, because it's done. It's done. Pape Sarr will go to Tottenham in 2022 because he will stay on loan to Metz for 1 season. But it's done. They have agreement. Now I'm checking for the price because different sources say different things. It has to be around 15 million euro plus add-ons. But from France, they say a bit more than this. So I'm checking. But the deal is done. They have an agreement. Now let's wait for the contracts to be signed because it's always dangerous, with this kind of young players. Maybe they can change their mind till the last minute, but everything is agreed on a verbal basis. And I'm told that he's really a fantastic talent. I don't know this player, to be honest, but my best friends in football, sport directors and people that follow French football, they told me this is a fantastic talent, fantastic player for the future. So let's see.
And it's confirmed he's definitely not coming to Spurs this summer. 100% a loan deal to Metz.
No. They at the moment they have an agreement on verbal basis with Metz for the player to stay 1 more season on loan.
Okay, awesome. Wow. All right, and obviously big news coming out yesterday about a prospective deal for Adama Traore. Has there been any developments over the last few hours with this deal?
Yes, but I think what was the name? I wasn't hearing you. So
Adama Traore. Adama Traore.
Yes, for Adama. Yes, for Adama. I think that he was, from what I'm told, he was also in the list since long time, since Nuno joined Tottenham, because he was in the list together with Noni Madueke of PSV and many other players. They were looking as wingers, but then in the last days, I would say in the last week, they decided to go definitely with Adama as main priority as new winger. At the moment, Wolves are not considering loan bids or this kind of things. So we will see how the deal will proceed because now Tottenham are talking directly with Wolves and with the agents of the player. Adama would be open to join Tottenham. So I can say that from player side, there is no problem. Now it's about Tottenham and Wolves to find the agreement. But Fabio Paratici wanted him at Juventus years ago. So he's always been a player in his radar. Nuno, of course, the link is direct at Wolves. So Tottenham want Adama. They're working on Adama. And I can say that he's not part of a emergency plan in case Kane leaves. Is a target they want if Kane leaves or if Kane stays is not important for this deal. They want to go with Adama Traore if they will be able to find an agreement.
All right. And there's been kind of a lot of news coming out today regarding Frank Kessie. Is there any chances for him to leave AC Milan this window and join Tottenham?
No, at the moment, the situation is still under control with AC Milan. They want to keep Kessie and to extend his contract, so I think will be really, really difficult. They never say never in football, but as of now, it's true that they have still no total agreement on the new contract, so the situation is not 100% easy, but at the same time, we can say that AC Milan want to continue with him, want to find a solution. So, absolutely. At the moment, I would say it's complicated. It's really complicated.
Yeah, and you would say surely Tottenham's willingness to accept an offer from Man City must be based on whether they can get a striker in through the door to replace Harry Kane. With Martinez, that deal looks to be dried up. Vlahovic looks to be staying at Fiorentina. Are there any other options except for these two that Tottenham are even looking at the moment to replace Kane?
This is a good question because they wanted Martinez. Martinez was the priority. Fabio Paratici was offering 70 million euro plus add-ons to arrive around 90. And it was a great bid, to be honest, because it was matching what it was Inter price. But Inter wanted Lautaro to stay because they sold Lukaku, so they can't sell the two best strikers in the same window, and they are now negotiating to extend his contract. So I think that is almost impossible to sign Lautaro Martinez this summer. Vlahovic, strong interest, and keep an eye on this one also for the future because Paratici always works like this, so he's looking for the players also for long term. So he had an interest for this summer. My feeling is that maybe they are not 100% convinced that he was the player to replace Harry Kane. We are talking about a top European striker, top English striker since many and many years. Dusan Vlahovic is a fantastic talent. I love these players, and I'm convinced he will become one of the best strikers in the world, but he needs some time, So the pressure he had in Fiorentina is not the same you have at Tottenham. Premier League is completely different. So that's why maybe he was the perfect backup option for Harry Kane, but not the replacement. So that's why at the moment the situation is still quiet. We will see, but at the moment the situation is still quiet also because, and why Tottenham are not accepting Manchester City bid as of now, because they have also no perfect replacement for Harry Kane. Maybe if Inter was going to accept the proposal for Lautaro Martinez, the situation for Kane now was different. So, transfer market is a domino when we talk about this kind of top players, and that's why now the situation is to be followed hour by hour.
Fabrizio, it was quite well reported throughout the whole window. Spurs are looking to bring in two centre-backs. Davinson Sanchez, strong start to the season. Are we still looking to bring in another centre-back or are we trusting Davinson Sanchez now?
It's not 100% sure that they will go for another one. It's correct what you said, because they were looking for two centre-backs, one Romero, of course, and the other one, they had a list with many names, Milenkovic, but then he extended the contract with Fiorentina. Pau Torres was an idea, but was never advanced or close because the player was never considering opportunities for clubs that are not playing the Champions League, same for Koundé. So it's really difficult as of now, and I think that Tottenham, I'm told that Tottenham have also chances to continue with Davinson Sanchez and Romero, and not 100% convinced of signing a new centre-back. So there are chances for Tottenham to continue with this defence and focusing for new signings on different positions.
And of another player who could potentially play centre-back and right-back is Tomiyasu, who we've been told this whole window, who's on the brink of signing for Tottenham, or things are getting very close. We were told he was going to sign after the Olympics. The Olympics was holding out, and now the Olympics have been a couple of weeks past, and this deal has gone very, very quiet. What's happened to this deal?
Maybe next Olympics in 4 years. No, just because, that Fabio Paratici works like this, guys. I know it's the first summer Tottenham fans are looking at Fabio Paratici at work, but get ready, because I know, and we know him since long time here in Italy, and he's working on many players in the same moment, and many times they are close. I make an example. Last summer with Juventus, he was one step away from signing Dzeko. He had to sign one striker, only one striker. He was one step away from signing Dzeko. Then he was negotiating for Luis Suarez. He was trying for Olivier Giroud. 3 days, different players, 3 different options in 2 weeks working on it, and then he signed Morata. Because he works like this, he's working on many different names to be ready on his first option. So he has always a strategy, but his strategy is also to create problems to other clubs, making inquiries and making contacts to other players. So it's part of his strategy. Tomiyasu has always been a player in his radar. He likes the player. He's really good because he can play as right back, centre back. He's playing also as left back sometimes with Bologna. So he's fantastic because he can play in many positions. But it was not done. It was one of the opportunities. He had the bid in place for 18 million euro. Bologna always wanted around 22, 23 million euro to sell Tomiyasu, so there was no agreement. But he's always a name on the list. Yes, keep an eye on him till the last minute. Yes, but done, no, because with Paratici, done is only when he's done, really, really done.
You've mentioned Houssem Aouar to Tottenham or potentially Arsenal quite a few times this window. Is there anything potentially brewing with Houssem Aouar coming to Tottenham?
I would say that the typical player that could be an opportunity till the deadline day. Because the player would be open to move to Premier League clubs. Arsenal and Tottenham have been in contact with his agent. Talking about Paratici, he was close to join Juventus with him last summer. It was the final week of transfers. Juventus had to decide is spending 50 million euros on Aouar or on Federico Chiesa, and Paratici together with Pirlo, because Pirlo wanted Chiesa as a new winger. They decided to go for Federico Chiesa, but Paratici was in advanced talks for Aouar. He wanted Aouar, so he's a player he appreciates. He would be perfect for Tottenham, but at the moment it's not advanced yet because they're going to decide in the coming days how much they're going to spend maybe on Adama or a new winger. So it's about the budget too. So he's a player I would keep an eye on till the last day because it could be an opportunity for Arsenal and for Tottenham, but it's not at final stages yet.
One player who came completely out of the blue, Cristiano Ronaldo. How the hell was he linked with Tottenham Hotspur?
Yes, I think he's not something real. It's not something real just because, No, but it's not. It's because Cristiano wants to play the Champions League. Cristiano wants to play the Champions League. And
I thought he was dying to play in the Conference League.
I think it's normal. But when you mention Cristiano, we have always to remember that he's earning 31 million euro net per season. 31 net per season. And Juventus won 25 million euro. So more than complicated for Cristiano.
Yeah, much more. You mentioned when we talked about the Tomiyasu deal,
Interesting.
And there was that winger from Rubin Kazan. I can't pronounce his name.
The Georgian Messi.
They called him the Georgian Messi. Thank you, Fabrizio. There was also a link with him. Is there anything to?
Yes, he's one of the names that Paratici is scouting. I would say in the same category with Damsgaard. These players he likes because they are good talents, but it's not something advanced. I'm told that there is no bid in place. So the only player they're really pushing now in this position is Adama. Kvaratskhelia is a player that he's following because, trust me, they tell me that he's fantastic talent too, like Pape Sarr. So it could be another interesting one for the future, but at the moment it's not an advanced negotiation yet.
Yeah.
And last question from us. From your opinion, how many here we goes are we going to get from now to the end of the season, end of the transfer window, incomings and outgoings?
It depends by the outgoings. For the incomings, I would say that could be around 3, maybe 3. Maybe three.
Three
It
in
depends
6
by
days.
how many players will leave Tottenham. This is the point. Because if Harry Kane leaves, of course, it's another market.
Yeah.
It's a revolution. If Harry Kane stays, maybe with a winger, midfielder, and maybe something in the defense. So it could be 2 or 3, I would say. Yes.
All right, Fabrizio,
All right.
thank you so much.